So let's make an 8eyes. Like that. This is a dozen beads, or 12 beads, which I also call fingers, and it's one string running through them. So to make one, we need a dozen a dozen beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and a dozen. That's a dozen beads. And now we need a string, and I'm just going to take this cotton string, a woven one, which plays very well with the beads. I can put them together without need of any needles or anything like that. If that doesn't work with the beads and the string that you get, there's ways around that. But this is what we need. Now we begin with the first eye, actually with bead 1. So we just string up bead 1. And we put that roughly into the center of a probably too short string when I see this. We'll see. Maybe it's just enough. Should have taken it longer. Anyways, we're running already. Okay, bead 1. But to make a triangle, which is what we're doing all the time, we need 2 more beads. So here's number 2. And number 3. That is, I give you 3 beads on a string. But to make this a triangle, we need to close the circle, close the loop. So we take the beginning of our string and put it into where the end of the string comes out here. And it comes through that, and then we can pull on that, and we get our first eye. And this is showing us this is a hole, because we can actually pull on it to close it and to get it into shape and to get stable and strong. Try, if you like, to do this with a square. It won't work. Triangle is what you need. Alright, now that's 1, but we need 8 eyes. So we need a second eye. So we will put again 2 beads. We are coming out of bead 1 already. That is the first of our next eye. So we need 2 more, and we just put them on one side. 1 and 2, like that. And we take the other end of the string and feed it into where the other comes out, making ends meet. And then we can pull on that, and as we do, we're closing the second eye, and we get our pair of eyes. And now we have a bit of a balance thing, where before on that triangle both corners looked the same. It was very similar. Now this has a heavy side where we have 1, 2, 3 fingers pointing at that corner, and a light side where there's only 2 fingers pointing at that corner. The heavy side is the inside of a circle that you're drawing, like with a compass. And the outside is where you add the beads if you need more fingers for this corner. So 3 fingers for a corner gives you 4 eyes. That's 1, 2, 3 fingers around each corner. But if you look at our 8 eyes here, we have 4 fingers for every corner. So this is still 1 finger short. We need 1 more finger. And to get that, we get 1 more triangle to this. This is bead 1. To make another eye, we need 2 beads, 2 fingers, and we put them on the outside string. 1 and 2. And then take the other end of the string and again make ends meet, put that in where the other one comes out, closing that loop, closing that eye, like that. Now we have half of a hexagon already. We don't need a hex now, we want actually to make the 8 eyes, 4 fingers for the corner, and we look at the 2 corners that we're coming out of with the string, and one is the light side, it still has only 2 fingers, and the other one is heavy, with 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. 4 is what we want for this 8 eyes, so we close that corner. And to close the corner we take this string on the inside and bring it out of that corner through the opposite finger. So if we were to go around the circle like that, continuing, this would be the first bead of that circle, the first finger. And that's where we go out with our inside string. Like that. And we pull that, and this already wants to close. But now you see we've got 2 beads, 1 and 2, on our string, active, 2 fingers, it's like that. And to make it a triangle we need a 3rd bead that is bridging the gap between these 2. So we just put that on any one of the sides, and then bring the other end of the string, again making ends meet, into where the other side comes out, like that. And as we pull that close, we've created a 4th eye. And now we have the first corner of our 8 eyes done. This is like a pyramid, except it's actually able to move, because the square is not a triangle, so it can move. But that's good. That's what we want. And now we look at where we're coming out of, which is again bead 1. And we're coming out of these 2 corners, and both of them have 3 fingers. So this is again a balanced step. It doesn't really matter which way we turn. We could go both ways, either ways. So I'll just put 2 beads onto one of these strings, one end of the line. Here's number 1, number 2. And to close this eye, this loop, we'll take the other end of the line, make ends meet, and bring this in where the first end comes out. And as we pull that close, we just get another eye. And you see now we've begun to spin again around the next corner here. So we have the same situation we had before. We have a light side with 2 fingers, and here is a heavy side which already has 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers, which is again what we want for the 8 eyes. So again we close this corner, which is to say, take the inside string and bring it out of that corner on the other side of that circle, like that. And then we have again 2 fingers that are active on the string, and we can bridge the gap by putting a bridge between them, which is the 3rd bead here. So again, first side of the line goes in, and the second makes ends meet and goes in where the other comes out. Pulling that tight closes yet another eye. And again we look at the 2 corners that we come out of. How do they look? This has got 1, 2, 3 fingers now, which is heavier than 2, but it's less heavy than 4, which we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the heavy side. It's the inside that we're turning around. 4 is the number we want for the 8 eyes. So we close that corner by again taking the inside string and moving it out through the opposite finger, like that. We get 2 active beads on the string, so we need to bridge the gap, put that link in, and put the last finger on either side of the line, because we go both ways through, like that. And we pull, and we close yet another eye. But if you were to count all the eyes that we have now, you notice in terms of the connections that we've drawn, the lines that we've drawn, there is a couple of corners here that are already full. You see they've got 4 fingers, but also 4 lines drawn between them, 4 links. But these 3 corners here, this one, and this one, each are missing one more connection. So it turns out we have only tied or drawn 7 out of 8 eyes. So the last eye still needs to be drawn. And for that we have bead 1 already, and we just need to close the loop. So we bring one end of the string in where the connection is missing, like that. And we can go one more bead in here, like that. And now we end up in one corner, which is where we could make a knot to make it a closed system as this is. So there's one knot here. But we can also close this loop and bring one end, making ends meet, bring one end of the string in where the other comes out. And by doing that, we get back to bead 1, which is where we can pull and it closes. Right? But here's something beautiful. We can, instead of making the knot in the corner as on this one, we can make the knot when the bead, the string comes out of bead 1. We could keep growing, we could make this a more complex structure. But now we're going to take the ends of the line and make a sheet bend to connect the two. So I'm going to make this knot. And if you want to know how to make a sheet bend, look it up on YouTube. There's tutorials. Look it up on Wikipedia, or maybe we'll come around to make some and then we'll link them in this video. But this is a sheet bend. It's a connection for 2 ends of a line, or 2 lines. That's a very proper knot. And the beauty of this is now, yes, it's a closed system, but it's got some leeway. We can actually open this up like that, and we can pull it close. So just as with this, where I got a container that I can put something into, the new one that we've just made can be opened, and you put something inside and close it, and that is safe. It's not going to come out, first of all, but it's also not going to be broken by anything, because this is an integral structure around it, making sure that nothing happens. So that is how you make an Eighteyes. Woven space-time with beads and string.
Yay! Stupid!